Hey everybody, today we are talking 10 free events to do this summer or activities to do this summer in Boise, Idaho. I am an Idaho native and we're going to be starting with number 1, which is go for a hike. The benefit of living in Boise, Idaho is you have tons of access to the Ridge to River trail system, which is over hundreds of acres of interconnecting trailheads in the Boise foothills. A few of my favorites include places like Harrison Hollow, Table Rock, which is kind of the pilgrimage voyage if you're moving here. You have Camel's Back and you have Military Reserve, which has tons of dog-friendly off-leash trails, great for kids, great for beginner hikers, so get out and hike. It's free. Number 2 is get on the Boise Greenbelt. So the Boise Greenbelt is on either side of the Boise River and extends all the way through downtown, towards the Mountain Home area, Warm Springs, and then all the way towards Meridian. There's tons of miles of walkable, bikeable, runnable, scooterable access to downtown Boise and either which way heading towards Meridian and then again headed towards Warm Springs. The Boise Greenbelt is on either side of the Boise River, so if it's hot, you can jump in the river on the way. There's tons of little beaches along the Boise River. There's great breweries, there's great restaurants, and there's some great parks. So get on your bike, get on a scooter, go for a run, go for a skate, do something on the Boise Greenbelt this summer. I definitely recommend it. Number three is get downtown and walk around. There are tons of cool little shops, restaurants. You have the Anne Frank historical site. You also have Freak Alley. You have the Boise City capital area, and then you have tons of little monuments throughout the city as well. So in the morning or in the later evening, I definitely recommend just grabbing a coffee, grabbing something to drink and just walking around downtown Boise. Check it out. It's a really cool area. Number 4 is get on the river. Don't just hang out around the river, actually get on the river. So one of our favorite things to do in the summer when it's hot in Boise, Idaho, is to start at Barber Park and then float the river. We obviously have our own stand-up paddle boards and our own rafts because we live here. But if you don't live here, you can rent a raft from Barber Park, or you can just go to Walmart and get a floaty. I would recommend though, if you're not a strong swimmer, you wear a life jacket. If you're not in a really sturdy raft or you're not comfortable in the water and you don't know the area, I definitely recommend wearing a life jacket, but get on the river. The Boise River is a great place to go when it's hot in Boise, Idaho. Number 5 is go to Quinn's Pond. So Quinn's Pond in the last decade has become an amazing spot for kids and families. They have picnic benches, they have shade, they have covered areas, they have a small park for younger kids, and you have access to calm water. So you can do a stand-up paddle boarding, you can chill on the beach, you can bring a picnic. It's great for families and people visiting the area. Locals go there all the time because you do have the Boise Whitewater Park right next to Quinn's Pond. And so you can walk over and check out all the surfers or the people playing in the waves. It's just a really cool area, but be aware it is not dog friendly. So you can have your dog on leash on the Greenbelt along Quinn's, but you can't actually have your dog on the beaches anymore. So just be aware of that. But Quinn's is definitely a must check out. Number 6 is check out all the free events in Boise. There is a ton of them. And if you find my Instagram handle in my bio, you should definitely follow me because every week I post ongoing free events that are happening in the area. But some of my favorite free events that happen in the summer are things like the Boise Farmers Market, the Boise Flea. You also have things like Alive After 5, our first Thursdays. So there's tons of Boise events going on. And then also local breweries will usually host musicians or people coming to play music in the evenings. Obviously the beer is not free, but the events tend to be free. So check out all the events happening in Boise. Number 7 is check out some historical sites. So you do have the Anne Frank Memorial, and then you also have obviously the Boise City Capitol where there are free tours. And then you also have things like the Basque Museum or the Basque area where there are historical plaques along the alley where the Basque kind of quarter is in downtown Boise. So there's a lot of little historical areas that are free. And then obviously you have things like the Idaho State Penitentiary, which is I think under $15, so super affordable. So if you're looking for some historical areas, check it out. The other cool thing I recommend is actually walking around on the VA campus on the weekends. It is a gorgeous campus and a lot of those buildings are historical. So if you're in Boise, check out that and then also check out the Boise VA campus. It's a gorgeous area. Number 8 is go to some parks. So there's Ann Morrison, there's Julia Davis, there's Barber Park. There is all kinds of amazing parks in Boise. So Catherine Albertson's Park is my favorite park for bird watching, for family photos. just walking around and enjoying the scenery. You know, Ann Morrison and Julia Davis have all kinds of bigger park areas for kids. They tend to have softball courts, and then they also have splash pads for younger children. So it's a free area. You can go play soccer, play volleyball, get on the park, have a picnic. Check out some of the local parks in Boise. They are fantastic, and of course they're free. Number 9 is go to some of the local museums. So on first Thursdays, the Boise Art Museum does have free entry. And then you also have the Yankee Motor Museum, which is by reservation only, but this is donation recommended, so technically free. And then also the Idaho Military History Museum. So again, donations are recommended, but it is a free museum. So check out some of these museums. And then in downtown, you also have the Idaho Candy Company, which isn't really a museum, but it's a very old building in downtown Boise, so definitely check that out as well. And finally, number 10 is go to a brewery. So again, you have to buy the beer, but there are so many breweries in Boise that have free events on the weekends and during the week. So a lot of the breweries like White Dog will have trivia night. Payette will have live music and game night. And then you also have Green Acres, which isn't technically a brewery, but it's a food truck area, and they have live music every weekend. So obviously you're gonna be paying for the beer, but there is tons of live music in Boise. You have Payette, you have White Dog, you have Barbarian, you have Mother Earth. So many great breweries in Boise to check out, and you just have to buy the beer. So I definitely recommend that if you're in the area. I am gonna give you one more bonus. It is gonna be number 11, and that is go to Yoga on the Mountain at Bogus Basin. So starting in June, Bogus Basin will do free yoga on the mountain every Saturday morning, and you can ride up, and then you can do yoga, and you can have some coffee and just check out the area. Honestly, Bogus Basin is a really pretty area to check out in the summer. They have tons of wildflowers. If you bring your mountain bike, you can do an around the mountain, which is a really fun ride literally around Bogus Basin Mountain, and there's usually tons of people up there just hanging out, doing yoga, drinking their coffee, having a good time, so I definitely recommend it. So my name is Autumn. I am an Idaho local. I have lived here my entire life. I am now Boise based. I've been here for the last decade. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you like my content, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.